30th shloka. Tattvam bruvāṇāni param parasmāt madhuksharantīva satāṃ phalāni pravartaya pranjalirasmi jihve namāni narāyana gocarāni. He jihve, pranjalihi asmi, parasmat param tattvam bruvāṇāni satāṃ madhuksharanti phalāni iva narāyana gocarāni namāni pravartaya. The poetical compositions are very interesting. Here, as in some of the previous verses, the poet is advising his own tongue. Jihve, my dear tongue. But the beauty is, even the appeal to the tongue is made through the tongue itself. So without the help of the tongue or the vocal organs, we cannot talk. He is addressing his own tongue and practically begging it to repeat the various names of the Lord. Pranjalihi asmi. There is a Sanskrit subhashita which says that one of the best ways of influencing people, getting them under our control, is namaskara. So if we become very humble and bow down to them and appeal to them, immediately their hearts will melt. So he is telling Pranjali Rasmi, by bowing down to you with both the hands, I appeal to you. So what is it that he wants the tongue to do? Pravartaya. You please repeat again and again. Avartana is repetition. Pra enhances the power of that word. Pravartaya means repeat it again and again and again. There is a fine Brahma Sutra which tells us, which gives us the importance of this avritti or repetition. Avrittihi asakrit upadeshat. There the topic under discussion is Tattvamasi, the great Mahavakya, and the discussion goes on between the Purvapakshi and the Siddhanti. The Purvapakshi, one who has raised the objection, says, why should it be repeated so many times? It is enough if it is repeated only once. Tattvamasi says the Guru, Aham Brahmasmi says the disciple. Well, that is possible provided both the Guru and the Shishya are extraordinary. But in all other cases, where the Guru may not be extraordinary, and the Shishya or the disciple also may not be an extraordinary disciple, then avartana, repetition, becomes very necessary. So Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi, Tattvamasi. One should go on repeating it in the mind until one gets the actual direct experience of one's oneness with the Supreme Lord. Now the reason given by the Brahma Sutrakara is asakrit upadeshat. Avritti or repetition of the Mahavakya is necessary for the simple reason that the original scripture which has given it, there itself it has been repeated a number of times. Tattvamasi shveta geto aitadatmyam idam sarvam. This sentence has been repeated in the Chandogya Upanishad 9 times. So it doesn't mean that you should repeat it only 9 times. It means that you have to repeat it as long as you have not had the direct experience of Tat Brahman, Tvam, the individual soul, that they are one and the same. Therefore, keeping that in mind, the poet here is telling us, Pravartaya. Repeat the divine name again and again. So this takes us to the important point of japa. Japu vyaktayam vachi. That is how the commentators explain. Jap means to repeat the name of the Lord in a very clear way. So this japa can be done in three different ways. Manasika japa, or upamshu, or vachika. Vachika means repeating the name of the Lord loudly. Upamshu means whispering, so that others don't listen to it, hear it. And manasika is repeating it in the mind. So among these three, manasika japa is the best. Next comes upamshu, and the least effective or the last of it is vachika. And why should one repeat the name of the Lord? Because by repeating the name of the Lord, ultimately we are filling the mind with the thoughts of God, and this slowly cleanses the mind from within, and the light which is within us will start shining. So japa is one of the easiest and the best modes of cleaning our minds and hearts in order to feel the presence of the divine within. So what is it that we have to repeat? He says, repeat the divine name. Here, since he is a devotee of Lord Vishnu or Narayana, he is telling us, Narayana Gocharani Namani. So the various names of God associated with the Lord Narayana. And we have that beautiful, most wonderful and powerful stotra called Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra. The beauty of that stotra is the person who is giving it to us is Bhishma, who was a very great devotee of the Lord. There is a very touching incident in the Mahabharata. Bhishma has been accused by Duryodhana that he has been very soft towards the Pandavas. So Bhishma got enraged. So in the next day's battle, he was fighting so fiercely that he was killing the warriors by thousands. And Arjuna faced him. But Arjuna was not putting forth his best efforts because of his love and affection and respect for Bhishma. Bhishma is fighting fiercely, vigorously, and Arjuna is fighting half-heartedly. So Krishna saw this. What is this? If this continues, then Bhishma will finish the whole Pandava army in no time. Therefore, suddenly he got down from the chariot, and there were so many broken chariots there. He took the wheel of one of the broken chariots in his hand and rushed towards Bhishma. So that the wheel of the chariot was used like the Sudarshan Chakra. Now what do you expect Bhishma to do? It's a battlefield. Immediately Bhishma kept away his bow and arrow, disarmed himself, and with hands bowed down, he started praying, O Lord, please come. Please come and kill me. Nothing can be more fortunate for me, more blessed for me than being killed by you in this battlefield. That series of shlokas which Bhishma utters at that time are so full of devotion and touching our heart. And they are quoted by Shandila Bhakti Sutras. Now as soon as Bhishma started folding his hands and praying, Lord Krishna started laughing, he returned back. So this is the story as we come across in the Mahabharata. Now this Bhishma, towards the last days of his life, when he was still lying down on the Sharashaya, or the bed of arrows, was asked by Krishna to teach the Pandavas, especially Yudhishthira, because Yudhishthira was very much downcast. He was still not fully sure whether the war he fought was righteous or not. He felt so sorry that they had to kill Bhishma, Drona and others. So Krishna was taken to him. Krishna asked Bhishma to advise Yudhishthira and others. So Bhishma starts praising the Lord Krishna, praising the Lord Vishnu, and he got that strength by praying to Krishna himself. You see, my body is badly injured, I am not in a position to comfortably speak, so you help me to speak properly. Then by the grace of Krishna, all his injuries disappeared, he was in very good health, and he was in a position to talk. The first thing he did was to praise the Lord. So Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra comes at that time. But the beauty is, the deity who is being praised by the Vishnu Sahasranama is sitting there in front of him. And Bhishma is fully conscious that Krishna himself is Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Vishnu Sahasranama has the added significance and power because it was chanted by a great devotee of the Lord in front of the Lord. And even today people have got great faith in that, and tremendous benefit is being got through the recitation of that Bhishma's Vishnu Sahasranama. So in this Vishnu Sahasranama, a large number of names of the Lord are given. Narayana Gocharani Namani. So by repeating these various names of the Lord Narayana, one can purify one's mind, draw the Lord unto him, and have a vision of the Lord in one's own heart. Sri Ramakrishna gives us a beautiful example. Children are flying their kites in the sky. Sometimes the kite may be flying at great height, half a kilometer even. But the thread is in their hands, sufficiently strong. So if they want that the kite should come back to them, if they don't want to lose their kite, they just pull it like this. So as long as the thread is in the hand of the child, the kite is not lost and the kite can be pulled towards itself. And that kite is the divine name. The kite is the Lord and the thread is the divine name. So with the help of the divine name, we can draw the Lord towards us. Of course, the divine name has to be repeated with faith, with love, with devotion, with feeling. That is understood. But the Bhakti Shastras go to the extent of telling us that even if you repeat the name of the Lord accidentally, without faith, even with disdain, let us say, it will work. It is something like a seed. The seed has the power to sprout into a mighty tree. So when the seed is put into the ground and taken care of properly, the tree will come out. Even if the seed is carelessly thrown, it will somehow grow into that plant. So that power is inherent in the seed. Similarly, the power of the Lord is inherent in the divine name. So even if you repeat the divine name without much faith and love and devotion, it will work. Only it may take a longer time, that's all. So, Narayana Nama Gocharani Namani. So the various names associated with the Lord Narayana. we have to repeat. He is telling the tongue, you repeat it. Now these various names that he is repeating or he is asking his tongue to repeat have got two types of qualities. Parasmat param tattvam bruvanani. You know, when you look at these various names that appear in the Vishnu Sahasranama or any other stotra, all the various names do not mean the same thing. All of them point towards the same deity, yes, but individually they mean different things. So one name may describe the beauty, another name may describe the deeds that have been done by the Lord, a third name may concentrate upon another particular quality of the divine, and so on. Therefore, these different names give different aspects of the Supreme Lord. Parasmat param tattvam bruvanani. There is the tattva, the basic truth. But these truths may be of a lower level or of a higher level. God is the highest truth beyond all these lower types and kinds of truths. So he is called Parasmat Param Tattvam. He is Tattva who is greater than the greatest. Bruvanani, these names describe him. These names describe the Supreme Lord who is beyond all that is good and great in this life, greater than the greatest, smaller than the smallest. So sometimes they may describe his form, sometimes his deeds, sometimes his particular quality like daya or compassion, or his power, and so on and so forth. So there is a variety in these different names, and at the same time all the names point towards one and the same deity. That is the beauty. So in that sense you will not get tired. So these names, especially if you know the meaning, they will be very interesting and you will be able to enjoy each one of them. That is why before we repeat such stotras, if we study them with the commentaries and know something about their inner meaning and significance, they will help us in reflecting on those thoughts when we are actually repeating the stotras. The second aspect of these names is Satam Madhuksharanti Iva Phalani. They are so sweet. They give fruits which are extremely delicious, very nice, very sweet. The very repetition of the divine name will give you that sweetness in your mind, in your heart. But our poet knows the human nature, so he has added one very important word here, Satam. So, Satam means Satpurushas. The divine names of the Lord can give honey-like sweetness or enjoyment, sukha, only to those people who are Satpurushas. People whose minds and hearts are pure, whose minds and hearts are inclined towards spiritual life, towards the devotional path, who can understand and appreciate, only they can enjoy this. So it is something like enjoying a medicine which may not be very sweet, but you are fully aware that it is a very good tonic, it will ultimately improve your health and strength and energy. So that is the type of happiness that Satpurushas get, and that is the type of happiness that Sattva Guna can give to us. For realizing God, Sakshatkara, we need both Jnana and Bhakti. This is a very important factor we have to remember. Somehow, unfortunately, in spite of the great religious teachers and philosophers, people have been thinking that Jnana Marga and Bhakti Marga are two parallel paths different from each other. They don't coalesce. This is different, that is different. In that case, only one of the two paths can lead to the goal, not both. In that case, which is the better path, or which is the one that really leads to God? So the Advaita Vedantin say it is Jnana Marga, the Bhakti Vedantin say it is Bhakti Marga. But Sri Ramakrishna says, Jnana and Bhakti are ultimately one and the same. Paramajnana and Parabhakti are absolutely identical. That means, in the beginning, though these two paths appear to be different, they go and join at the same place. This can be explained by taking the particular expression used for describing Parabrahman, Sat Chit Ananda. Sat, existence, eternal existence. Chit, eternal consciousness. And Ananda, eternal bliss. If the Chit aspect is made prominent, then it becomes, the path of sadhana becomes Jnana Marga. If the Ananda part of Brahman is made important in our sadhana, then Bhakti Marga becomes prominent. But whether you go by Jnana Marga or Bhakti Marga, whether you go accepting Chaitanya as important or Ananda as important, you will ultimately reach Brahman. Brahman is both Chit and Ananda. So once you come to that point of mystical experience, you experience both pure consciousness, awareness and bliss. Therefore, there is no dichotomy, no difference in these two paths. Both of them lead to one and the same goal. That which is jnana is bhakti, that which is bhakti is also jnana. Shemushi bhakti rupa, Ramanuja says that jnana is of the form of bhakti. Shankara puts it in the opposite way in the Viveka Chudamani. Swaswarupa anusandhanam bhaktiritya. Meditating upon one's Atman is bhakti. So ultimately, whether it is bhakti or jnana, these are only different names. The experience that comes is one and the same. There is no need to quarrel. Therefore, by repeating the various names of the Lord, we will be able to enjoy that supreme bliss in our mind, in our heart. The only thing is, to get a taste of the divine name, we should repeat it again and again. Suppose there is a particular type of sweet which is not normally prepared in the south, let us say. It is prepared somewhere in North India. For the first time we are eating. Those people who are advocating it, they say it is excellent, but somehow it appears to be not so excellent. But by gradually eating it again and again, we get used to it. Long back when I was coming here as a student, one day I was given the juice of bilwa fruit. There are two types of bilwa fruits. One which is more common in Kashi and Calcutta and other places, is the other one here. The bilwa fruit that we get here is very bitter. It's not fit for preparing juice and take. But in our ashram we have the other type of bilwa also. So they had prepared it and they said the bilwa fruit juice is very nice. I was thinking, what type of juice is it? It must be very bitter. But when I took it, it appeared to be nice. Then gradually I got used to it and then started liking it. So this is like that. Abhyasa dramate yatra. Krishna says in the Gita, sattvic joy and happiness is like this. Only by abhyasa, by repeated efforts, you are able to enjoy the taste of that sattvic discipline. Yattadagre vishamima pariname amrutopamam. In the beginning, sattvic happiness appears like poison, but gradually it becomes amrita. Then you go to the 31st shloka. You go to the 31st shloka. Idam shariram parinamapeshalam patatyavashyam shlatha sandhi jarjaram kimaushadhaihi klishyasi मूढ़ दुर्मते निरामयं कृष्ण रसायनं पिबा इदं शरीरं परिणामपेशलं पतत्यवश्यं श्लथसन्धिजर्जरं किमौषधैः क्लिश्यसि मूढ़ दुर्मते निरामयं कृष्ण रसायनं पिबा. Our poets are very interesting persons. So this poet is abusing his own mind. Mudha, durmate. So you are a mudha, you are a foolish fellow, you are an idiot. And then durmati, he is telling his own mind, you have got a very bad mind. Very interesting. There is all poetical way of describing. So what is it he is trying to tell us? Hey durmate mudha parinamapeshalam shlatha sandhi jarjaram idam shairam avashyam patati aushadhaihi kim klishyasi niramayam krishna rasayanam piba. You foolish fellow, you idiot, why do you get attached to this body? Today or tomorrow, it will get disintegrated, it will die, don't be attached to it. Why do you spend all your time and money and energy on those medicines, thinking that they will cure your body? Instead of that, take the wonderful tonic called Krishna. The name of Krishna itself is the Rasayana. Of course, the poet probably did not suffer much physically. That is why he doesn't know how terrible it is. It is very easy to say Niramayam Krishna Rasayanam Piba when everything is fine. So when you get a severe headache or stomachache, then you will understand. Anyhow, for that Sri Ramakrishna has a remedy. He says, when you are living in somebody's house, you pay rent. It is natural. So you are living in this body. The suffering that comes to you is the rent that you have to pay to the Supreme Lord. Take it in that sense. What cannot be cured must be endured. Anyhow, let us take the shloka now. Sri Ramakrishna says, in this Kali Yuga, people are annagata prana, therefore Naradiya Bhakti Marga is the simplest, the easiest and the most efficacious path. We are terribly attached to the body. Annagata prana, our whole mind, the entire psychic personality is rooted in this body which has been nourished by food. It simply means that there is too much of body consciousness, too much of identification with the physical body. Therefore, the path of jnana is extremely difficult for us to practice. To say, even when there is terrible suffering, even when the hand is being cut or something else is happening, to say that I am not the body, I am not the panchendriyas, I am not the buddhi, I am not this or that, I am only the pure Atman. That is very easy to say but extremely difficult to practice. We have the story of the great yogi Sadashiva Brahmendra,
who lived in the 19th century.
So he was in a state of samadhi.
He was going, it lifted hands uplifted, and it happened that he passed through the tent of a sultan who was camping in a forest.
And the sultan got
angry and cut off his
arm, one of the arms.
It fell down.
But he was not conscious of that, he was going.
But the king
who cut his arm,
his hand did not come down.
It got stuck up there
like that
and started terribly paining. Then others came and told him he is not an ordinary person. a very great soul, go and fall at his feet. Then he went and begged pardon, and then when Sadashiva Brahmendra came down to the normal plane of consciousness, then, oh, is it true? My arm has been cut by you? And then he looked at it and put his hand like that and he got it back. How we wish we could do all those things, you see. It's not so easy. Anyhow, these stories are very nice to hear. When our minds are depressed, we can just read them like novels. Anyhow. So this is a story which shows that he, being a Brahmajnani or a Jivan Mukta, was not attached to the body. In the state of Samadhi, Sri Ramakrishna never felt the pain. Only when he came down to the normal plane of consciousness, sometimes he used to feel the pain. So, what is to be done is, the nature of the body is like this. Let us accept it. But what is it we have to do? Instead of trying to increase the body consciousness by using medicines and tonics and other things, let us try another medicine called Niramayam Krishna Rasayanam. Let us take the words one. Durmate Mudha. He has used the words very selectively. Durmati means one who has a very wicked mind, that is the result of Rajoguna. Mudha, one whose mind doesn't work, idiot, that is the result of Tamoguna. So keeping these two things in mind, he is telling himself, his lower self or his own mind, you are a Mudha, you are a Durmati. You are subject to Rajoguna and Tamoguna. You have to rise from that to the level of Sattva. Idam Shariram. Shariram is the word which comes from the root Shri Himsayam. Shiryate Rogadina. Something which gets loosened, which gets broken, which gets damaged, that is called Sharira. So the nature of the body is diseases loosen it, then gradually destroy it. So this is the very nature of Sharira, is that it gets destroyed in course of time. Shlatha Sandhi Jarjaram. Sandhi means the joints. Now these joints become loose. How do they become loose? Suppose there is no accident, a person is able to lead a good life, old age comes. Once old age comes, the joints become loose. An old man is not able to use his limbs as he used to use them when he was young. So Jarjaram, a person who is very old, where old age has completely attacked his body, various joints in the body become loose and he is not able to function properly. Avashyam patati. It is going to fall one day or the other. Nobody can prevent it. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu, Krishna says. One who is born in this world has to die one day or the other. Somebody was telling me, Swamiji, do you know who is majority and who is minority? In our country, we use these words very frequently, majority, minority, majority, minority. But actually, all the people in this world are absolute minority, he said. Then I asked him, what do you mean? The majority are there, people who are dead and gone. They are the majority. We are only the minority, that's all. So in that case, if minority wants to claim privileges, all of us are capable of claiming those privileges from the Lord, if he can. So avashyam patati jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. Mrityu is inevitable. Therefore what should be done? Aushadhaihi kim klishyasi. Why are you going to harass this body by giving it all types of medicines and operations and treatments and all that? Well, here we have to remember one thing. We should not take all these teachings very literally and stop taking medicines and treatments and tonics and all that. No. What is the purpose? Is it right or is it wrong? Swami Nikhilanandaji Maharaj, who translated the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna into English, came here in December 1955 when we were brahmacharis. He took a class for us in the night. He told us a very interesting incident. One day, a middle-aged man who was not very healthy and strong came to his center. Then asked him, Swami, can you teach me yoga? Then the Swami asked him, what for? You know, I'm getting old, I cannot enjoy life, so I want to become younger and continue to enjoy life. Then Nikhilanji, it seems, just laughed at it and told him, in that case, this is not the place for you, you go elsewhere. So that is how people look at these things. They want somehow by hook or crook to preserve the body eternally, to enjoy the lower pleasures of life. Today or tomorrow the body is going to die. There is no doubt about that. By the by, I can also tell you another secret. When Nikhilanji published the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, I think in 1943 or 44, all the copies were selling like hotcakes. So the Christian missionaries became terribly afraid. So they planned, let us do one thing, we have money. So they purchased the entire stock and destroyed the whole book. This is Nikhilanji himself told us. Then Nikhilanji got all the money back. Immediately the second edition was brought out. Let us see how many times they will take, purchase and burn them. Now it has become a classic. A few years back, some Christian young men who were under training in the local Dharmaram college came here for a visit. Now and then they come. They got a good rapport with us. And one of our Swamis was taking them round. Achalananji, some of you know him. He is no more now. Then they visited our bookshop. Achalananji was suggesting this book is good, that book is good, you can take. And Achalananji particularly mentioned the book Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. So one of the young men who was a little closer to him, because he used to ask many questions, so when Achalananji told him, why don't you purchase that book? He said, no. The way he said no, Achalananji thought, all right, let us leave it at that. Then they went to Holy Mother's Rock. Others went. This boy stayed back and secretly told the Swami, Swami, I have a copy of that book. I read it every day in the night before going to bed. I hide it in my room so that my superiors don't see. See, this shows that though he was a devoted Christian, he was attracted to Sri Ramakrishna and the teachings, but the church would not allow him to keep such books. Of course, nowadays they have become better in the sense that they have got books on Hinduism and other religions in their library, and they do study these books. Anthony Ellington, there is another Christian clerk who has now become independent. He has got his own ashrama. He was tremendously influenced by Hinduism. He didn't like the Catholic Christianity's way of life. I mean the church's way of life. He has his own ashrama in the Bombay. He had stayed in our mutt at Madras and Calcutta, has studied our Ramakrishna Vivekananda literature very well. He writes, autobiographical essays were there in Vedanta Kesari. In one of them he writes, when he joined the seminary, he was going around and he found in the library one particular almirah always locked. And on the almirah there is a small board, H-E-L-L-L. So what the hell is there inside he wanted to see. But the librarian would never allow him, would never open the hell. Finally, with great difficulty, he somehow managed to strike friendship or a deal with the librarian, and when nobody was there, the almirah was opened, and he saw that the almirah was full of books on Hinduism. That is hell for them. Of course, this is long back now. They seem to have changed, because many times they come here, they invite us for lectures, they ask questions, they purchase our books. I think after 62 their attitude has changed. Anyhow, we will come back to our topic here. Is it wrong to take medicines, diet, treatment and tonics to keep the body in good condition? It depends upon what you want to do with the body. That is important. If you want to use the body for sadhana, yes, you must keep it in good condition. Good food, good exercise, medicines, tonics, everything you take means to an end. The body is a means to an end, not an end in itself. So if you want to use the body for sadhana, shariram adyam khalu dharma sadhanam, yes, perfectly all right. But if you want to nourish the body for bhoga of the ordinary type, then the philosopher says no. Because today or tomorrow the body is going to die. So why do you want to take so much of trouble to boost it? Boost its capacity for lower types of enjoyments, which will pull you down more and more. All right. Then what is it you expect us to do? Niramayam Krishna Rasayanam Pibam. Rasayana is a technical word used in Ayurvedic sciences. It is a Shakti Vardhaka. It's a tonic. What type of tonic you want me to take? Krishna Rasayana. Rasayana made of Lord Krishna's name. Krishna Nama Japa. That itself is the Rasayana. Of course, you can substitute Krishna, the word Krishna, with any other name. This takes us to one very important question. That is, we have a physical body. We have our weaknesses, our diseases, our suffering. Will the Lord's help, japa of the Lord's help, prayer to the Lord, will it really help us to get rid of our physical diseases, or at least to lessen them? Because very often there is so much of physical suffering that we are unable to turn the mind towards God. So a certain amount of health and strength and energy and peace is absolutely necessary for our spiritual life. So I'll keep before you very authentic and authenticated incidents of recent history where the repetition of the divine name has definitely helped people even to get over physical diseases. There is a Marathi paper called Sakal. This has appeared there in the issue 26th November 1967. Manohar Petkar is the person who has written the article. He was suffering from cancer on the tongue. Even today it is impossible to cure cancer. During those days it was absolutely fatal. So when he was admitted into the hospital, they said nothing can be done. No, he was there for nearly a week. But he was a great devotee of Lord Rama, and he started, all right, if the end has come, what can I do? Let the Lord's will be done. Without being afraid of death, actually welcoming death, he started repeating Ram Nam throughout the day and throughout the night. You know, patients who are suffering, patients who are in the terminal case, the terminal patients, they cannot sleep like that unless they are given strong drugs. So he started repeating Ram Nam. On the 6th day, 75% of cancer had come down. The doctors were surprised. And how did it happen? He says, on the 6th night, he got a dream in which Lord Sri Ramachandra appeared before him, put his hand into his mouth and just smeared the tongue like that and disappeared. It was a dream. But they are not ordinary dreams, they are extraordinary dreams, practically like samadhi experiences. And the very next day the doctors found that there was a remarkable recovery. Within a few more days he was completely cured without surgery, without medicines. So the patient himself has written this to the Sakal paper dated so and so. You have heard of the famous Kalyana Kalpataru magazine in Hindi, Kalyan in English, Kalyan Kalpataru in Hindi. It's a wonderful work that they are doing. Now this is another incident mentioned there. There was one Amarnath Sharma, 1956-57. So his wife developed severe fever, 108 degrees. She was put into the hospital. The doctor said there is absolutely no hope, nothing can be done. But Amarnath Sharma was a great devotee of the Lord. So he gathered a few people who all had faith in the divine name. He said, let us start Akhanda Bhajan in the room of the patient. So let her lie down and just listen to the bhajan. Let us all pray. Let the Lord's will be done, that's all. And the doctors objected. No, you should not make noise. For them it was noise. For these people it was bhajan. You should not make noise. The patient will become worse. It will disturb other people and so on. They didn't listen. Of course, they took precaution that they didn't disturb other people. Continuously for 8 days, round the clock by turns, they did Akhanda Bhajan and the lady fully recovered. The third incident, 26th of July 1964. There was one gentleman, Deshpande. His mother used to suffer from epilepsy, what is called as grand mal type epilepsy, very serious epilepsy. And even today there is no cure. It can be kept under control by medicines, that's all. So she was suffering for more than 15 years. It's very unfortunate. Epilepsy may not come only in young age. It can suddenly start in later ages also. Then what to do? She was suffering. And it was a terrible thing, you see. Then somebody told the old lady, you are a devotee of Rama, you do Ramanama Japa 1 crore, 1 koti. She believed it. All right, whether I am cured or not, it doesn't matter. Repeating the divine name is definitely going to help me in my spiritual life. Keeping that in mind, she bound herself with a sankalpa, so many per day and for so many days. So by the time she completed 1 crore Ram Nam, she had already become 75% free, and within a short time she was completely cured of that. Of course, I have told you earlier also how Yatishwanaji Maharaj cured an epileptic patient just by blessing him, patting him on the back 3 times. All these things are possible. Then one more recorded incident which happened in 5th March 1960. There was one young boy called Ranavir. He was probably 8 or 10 years old, and the doctors found that there was a very serious heart ailment. They said the boy is not going to live very long. Then the father, who was a Sadbrahmana, he had great faith in Mrutyunjaya Japa. So he got some 3 or 4 qualified Purohits and through them arranged for the ceremonial recitation of the Mrutyunjaya Japa. त्र्यंबकम यजामहे सुगंधिम पुष्टिवर्धनम urvarukamiva bandhanan mrityormukshiyamamritat. It comes towards the last portion of the Rudra, that is called Mrityunjaya mantra. One has to take initiation of that. There is a procedure for doing the japa. So when Mrityunjaya japa was done continuously, on the 7th day, by the time 1,25,000 had been completed, there is a remarkable recovery, and the boy became completely normal and lived for many years. Then there is the famous incident of Eisenhower, who was the supreme commander of the Allied forces in the Second World War, and who later became the President of the United States for 2 terms. When he was 14 years old, he had an injury on the left leg. It got septic, and when he was taken to the doctor said the leg has to be amputated. But his elder brother didn't agree, brought him back. Then the whole family decided, let us pray. So they put the boy in bed, and they took turns, grandfather, grandmother, father, mother, brother, sister, and some other relatives. They all gathered together. They took turns, 24 hours round the clock. For 2 or 3 days they started praying. And another thing, they had Christ picture. They went on lighting the candles. We also have that tradition. ದೀಪವನ್ನು ಹಚ್ಚಿದ ಮೇಲೆ ಆರದೇ ಇರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಪೂಜೆ ಮುಗಿಯೋವರೆಗೆ. So they started this, and after the 3rd or 4th day, they found that it was coming down. Then when he was taken to the hospital after a week, the surgeon was surprised. He said, how could it happen? I can't believe my own eyes. But he was completely saved. Later on he became the supreme commander of the Allied forces. And in his autobiographical essays he writes, he had to take very difficult decisions during the Second World War. He says, sometimes there would be 2 choices before me. Both appear to be equally good, but I did not know which one to choose. I would earnestly pray to the Lord. Suddenly it would appear to my mind, flash in my mind, this is the correct decision, and I would take it. And particularly one incident he has described. Once a British Air Force plane just got out of the route that had been set for it. It lost the route. So it didn't know where to go, which way to turn, where to land. So an emergency message was sent, and it was conveyed to Eisenhower. No, there were 2 or 3 places where the plane could land. But out of them, 2 places very, very dangerous. If he tried to land in any one of those places, the plane would have been shot by the Germans. The 3rd place was the best. How to convey to them? Anyhow, he prayed, and ultimately it appeared to him that this is the better place. Somehow with great difficulty the message was conveyed, and the plane got the message. It landed in the 3rd place without being harmed in any way. And when he took over as the President of the United States, the first thing he asked his people was to pray. And we, being a secular state, we have thrown away God to the winds, we have thrown away Dharma to the winds. We don't want to do anything with puja, with homa, with even prayer. Now you see what a great tragedy it is. Now a war is going on. Just today's paper says that the Christian church has asked all the people to pray specially for the good of the country in all the churches. And which one of the Hindu organization has done it? How many of us are praying in the temples? Of course we have told you to do Ram Nam Japa and all that. That is individually here and there. But there is no mass awakening. So in the name of the so-called secularism, we are becoming completely and absolutely useless, worthless fellows, anti-religion in every respect. I am very sorry to say this, but we have to learn from them. See, from their faith in God and their power of prayer, the way they cooperate with one another in times of crisis. So, Eisenhower was very particular for the American people to pray when he took charge, because it was a tremendous responsibility. There are two more incidents. I'll narrate them in the next class.